Greetings to our honorable students. My name is Helen Moraka. I'm from ACSWIT. There is an acronym which stands for Advocacy and Resource Center for Students with Disability. We are from the Registrar's Portfolio under the Dean of Students Department. Today we are going to do a presentation for you about the services that are offered for our Masters and PhD students. I am not alone. Mrs. Kukuzikali is the one that is going to take through all of you regarding the services that are offered by ACSWIT. As I've mentioned, that is an acronym. Therefore, sit back, relax, and enjoy the presentation. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Gugu Ngati, and I have my colleague, Ms. Helen Muraga. We are coming from ACSWIT, which is the Advocacy and Resource Center for Students with Disabilities. We would like to discuss issues of support services which are available for postgraduate students with disabilities. We want to address the challenges and the proposed strategies to ensure that inclusivity and accessibility for postgraduate education is implemented within UNISA. In 2024, we had 38 students with disabilities that are registered for M&D. As much as we don't see those students often, but we know that they exist and they all need our assistance. The importance of inclusive postgraduate education support. We want to promote equity and inclusivity. In most cases, we would see that the students, M&D, and it's mainstream students. We don't see students with disabilities. That's because some of them feel that they are not accommodated. Today, we want to ensure that all students with disabilities know that they are supported from ACSWIT at UNISA. We've got academic support services, and that would be accessible study material. So the student is given a form which is called the special assistant form. That's where they choose whether they want braille, they want large print, they want screen readers or in audio format. So it depends on what the student needs. And that student would actually tell us that this is the one I need, and we would convert it through our production office at ACSWIT. Accessible research resources through the library. Well, when you've got books that are recommended, you can always go to the library because we've got an understanding with the libraries. They've got equipment that are accessible for students with disabilities. So if you need a book that is converted in electronic format, you can actually do that by request at the libraries. They also offer ebooks. We've got assistive technology and software on the regional multipurpose computer labs. I'm saying multipurpose computer labs because those are the labs that are dedicated to students with disabilities. The software there is accessible for students who are blind, students who have learning challenges or conditions, also with students who cannot use their limbs. They use a software that is called Dragon Natural, and it's voice synthesized. So they get to command as to what it should be written on their computers, and it reads back to them. We've got also, for example, Zoom text, where we have a keyboard that is bigger and it's colorful, depends on what colors the students are used to or are comfortable, like yellow and black and white. We've got big screens for students so that whatever is written there is in a bigger font and the student can understand it much better or read it much better. Supervision and support. Capacity training programs for academic staff. We've got those programs for academic staff so that they are able to supervise and accommodate students with disabilities. If a student comes to an academic and they say you're going to be my supervisor, they don't know how best to help that particular student, especially with the academic staff and also support. So AXWIT is there to gel the two so that that student is assisted in a maximum form. The provision of special examination arrangements, we usually request a student to take the form to their professional health person or to their doctors so that they can actually write as to how much time the student would need for the exam or for the portfolio, because students, M&D, they use portfolio in most cases. So that particular professional would write down as to how many minutes, and it's limited to 30 minutes per hour. So sometimes they would say, no, they need 15 minutes per hour or they need 30 minutes per hour, but we are guided by what the doctor writes on that form, and they need to sign it and it needs to be stamped. We provide access to note takers, lecture recording, transcription services. So if a student comes to a lecture room and they come with a recorder, the lecturer should not be alarmed because that student already is known to be a student with special needs. So they are allowed to come, but they need to request that from the lecturer first. Accessible learning platforms, ensuring all study material is compatible with assistive technology. So anything that is used, any material, any platform that is used by the lecturer, it should be compatible with the assistive technology that the student uses. So there is negotiation, there is an engagement that needs to go on between the lecturer and the student so that they understand them better and they know that those assistive devices they use are compatible. Offer hybrid learning options for students who have difficulty attending in person. We've got students that have a lot of expenses when they need to come to the campus. So we don't want them to come to the campus more often. Instead of taking an Uber as easy as other students can, they would need some kind of a transport that would have a hoist. In most cases, it would be a kumbi. That takes up a lot of money. So whenever they are not able to attend the classes, they should be given an option to attend online because of the expenses that they need to go through when they actually request for their transport. Inclusion in postgraduate students and student forums and leaders who have walked the UNISA journey. Now, we want to absorb the M&D students because they know better. They have walked the walk, and other students can actually learn from them. We have forums for students with disabilities, which is student leadership that falls under the SRC. So those students are chosen in each and every region. We have elections that run and students choose which one they think would be the best leader. So we need M&D students because they have experience in this work and they can walk the walk better than the students who have just started. We need them for reviewing policies concerning students with disabilities. Because they know better, they are at a postgrad level. They know these policies and they've been using them the whole journey. So when it comes to a point when they are reviewing these policies, they come up with better ideas that should supersede whatever we had in 1999 or 1990, because that is old, and they come up with new ideas as everything evolves as years go on. We have a call for graduates with disabilities for replacement in various UNISA departments. UpSuite has embarked on a new journey where we have interns with disabilities, only interns with disabilities. And this year we advertised 10 interns. Now, we need these students that already have walked the undergrad journey. Those students can now be placed in our offices so that they learn how to do their jobs practically. So we do have that program which started this year. That's why we need students with disabilities who are doing their masters and doctoral. We also offer life skills. We offer orientation and mobility services. If a student is visually impaired, we've got this orientation and mobility, which is a specialized training for students who are blind and partially sighted. Now, the training depends on a student as to how much do they know, what their needs are. So it's on a needs-based kind of a training. It's not an umbrella because each one person who is blind have got their different program. We offer sign language services as well. You consult with Ms. Sophie Mabaso, who is our sign language interpreter, and you give them your schedule as to when you're going to have your workshops, you're going to engage with your lecturer, you're going to engage maybe with the community. But in most cases, this has to be at UNISA. Then you give her your schedule, and then you guys will work together as to when you see each other. Now, the last one is challenges. We've got challenges as well. Lack of awareness amongst supervisors and academic staff that we are trying to correct, because last year, I think the whole year, we worked on workshops for academic staff. The College of Law, Social Work, the works. We did it last year, and we are continuing, and that is done as per request from the college. We have limited funding for postgraduate students with disabilities. That is very unfortunate. We still are engaging student finance as to how we can find postgraduate students, because we need students with disabilities to be in the system and learn as much as possible, and so that they can be also members of the society who are contributing to the same society they are living in. We've got problems with students as well. Declaration of their disabilities. They don't declare. And if a student doesn't declare, we cannot help that particular student. So we appeal to all students to declare their disabilities so that ACSWIT and the academics and other departments can work together into assisting them throughout their journey at UNISA. Thank you.
Thank you to our student for listening to the presentation from one of our own, Mrs. Goku Zikali. We really appreciate you for taking time and listening to this presentation. Kindly note that the presentation is jam-packed. If you need assistance, go through the presentation. You'll find our email address and reach out to us, because nothing about you without you. That is the motto for all the students with disability. And therefore, we are saying reach out so that we support you and we journey with you throughout your study until you graduate. And reasonable accommodation will then be offered according to your specification or your needs. Therefore, have a lovely day, and thank you once more.